everybody, and welcome to another edition of Kitchen Goat. Now, today we're going to do something that's real near and dear to my heart. It's the Dennis Soule smoked turkey breast. Dennis Soule is a retired Special Forces major that I taught across the hall from when I taught middle school at Washington County Union Middle School. We were very good friends. We used to fish and do all kinds of stuff. He lives about an hour and, I don't know, hour 15 minutes away. And because of COVID, we hadn't seen each other in a while, but I talked to him all the time. But anyway, we would always call him Souleman, and his last name was spelled Soulema, and we added man to the back. In fact, one of his helicopters was named Soul Survivor. He had an illustrious career in Special Forces, a bunch of tours in Vietnam, and retired honorably in the 80s. And I've said this story before, but I think it bears hearing again. One of our favorite meals teaching was the Thanksgiving meal. I don't know exactly what was in it, but it had mashed potatoes, gravy, stuffing, dressing, and a slice of turkey. Well, we're all sitting there one day, and one of the teachers, well, this turkey's a little dry. What do you think, Souleman? Dennis, I knew something was up because he had that look in his eye, and he goes, Thanksgiving 1968, they airdropped a frozen turkey from 1938, and we were on a LRP, which is a long-range reconnaissance patrol, and the Mullen Yards that he was with wrapped it in banana leaves, buried it in the ground, and cooked it. And he goes, that was a fine meal. And just had this look. I'm sure he was, 19 again and just flipping out, just remembering, an interesting aspect of his life. So anyway, every time I smoke a turkey, I always think of this. And, I like to smoke stuff. I used to smoke cigars, but, I quit. And I might have one every, couple of years, but the only smoking I do anymore is in my master built. So I'm going to smoke this turkey. So what I did was I had a mango. I put that inside the turkey. It's on top of this sitting turkey thing, which you can find at Ag Supply. But what I'm going to do to make sure that everything works out is I'm going to inject it. I'm going to rub it all over my breasts. And we're going to smoke it, and hopefully it turns out pretty good. What am I going to do with it? Well, I will probably make turkey salad with it, smoked turkey salad. And I'm going to take the bones, and you've seen me do this before, is get the Instapot, pressure cook the bones and save the broth. And I'm telling you, I use that stuff all the time. But before we get started, let's keep old Kitchen here. Let's make sure he's all nice and protected, and he can watch what we're doing. And so I've got one of these. How many of you remember Pulp Fiction? Back in the 90s, I remember, I think I was 15 when it came out. And we snuck in and saw it. And you see Uma Thurman, they sit there, wham! And then she jerks up and, gets the adrenaline in her heart. Well, the funny thing about that is my dad's a doctor. Okay, he's been a doctor for about 45 years. And the funny thing about him is he'll always give a shot. And when I was a kid, I used to say, well, is it going to hurt? And his response was, it won't hurt me a bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our Tim Buck's barbecue sauce. I'm going to suck that up, and then I'm going to inject it in different spots to make sure that this is all nice and moist. Now, whenever I inject any sort of sauce, don't make the mistake of contaminating your whole bottle. Use a container. Oh. This is my all-purpose rub. My rub-a-dub-dub. Sometimes you have to adapt and improvise. Smoker. I'm doing it at 250, and everything I've read said 30 minutes per pound. This says it's 5 pounds, so I'm guessing 2.5 hours, and we'll be right back. All right, so into the smoker we go. I'll put one of my probes in, and I'm using, everybody sits there and goes, well, I only use charcoal, I only use this, I only use that. Look, what kind of wood am I using? Is it fancy schmancy stuff? Banjo, is it fancy schmancy stuff? No, this is plum. It's from my dad's plum trees. And the thing that I absolutely love about this smoker is I can put a chunk like this right in, and boom-o, Smoke City. We'll be right back. All right, so sometimes stuff comes out a little bit later than what you think. So it's been a while. I haven't walked the kitchen out yet, but there's our mango that I used to keep it moist. Test this out. Not bad. Now remember, I used Tim Buck's barbecue sauce, which you can find anywhere in Piggly Wiggly. You can find it at Smith's. You can order it. Give me a call and I'll figure out how to get it to you. One of the neat things, and these guys haven't sent me anything yet, but I bought one of these. It's a Thermo Pro, and it's 73 degrees in the house. So these are pretty accurate. This is what I used. I normally like to run turkeys about, it says minimum 165, about 165 in the breast, 180 in the thigh. And you know what? Even here at Kitchen Goat, we can have leftovers. There's absolutely nothing wrong with some leftovers. This is a Dennis Soul meal for sure. Now, the worst part is, you ever, you're doing dishes and you realize you got that one fork that doesn't match any of the sets, and you have no idea where in the world that came from? Well, it's kind of like that one beach towel you never figured out where you got it from. Anyway, I smoked this thing for about 3 hours. I injected it with Tim Buck's barbecue sauce, rubbed it with the old Nap rub, smoked it at 250 on plum wood, and put a mango that was just, it wasn't good to eat anymore, but could still serve a purpose. My wife's gonna like this. Tangy, flavorful. It's even got a little bit of the mango in it. Smoke away. And there's nothing like mashed potatoes and gravy. Folks, this is my tribute to a good friend of mine, Major Dennis L. Soul, the Soul Man. Remember, folks, be kind, be excellent to each other. Have a great day. We'll see you soon.